Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Foxy Moose Show, episode 10. And today we're going to be talking about Juri. Insert fake video that I don't have. um, so I'm your host, Tyre Godet, aka Foxy Moose, and I'm here to analyze your favorite characters. And like I said, today we're going to be focusing on Juri. I know that's so many people's waifu right now. It's like crazy. Um, but for those who are new here, I'm a character concept artist that enjoys helping people learn while inspiring creativity. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Uh, all right, let's go over here. Okay, so now we're back at our friendly wiki, and we're going to be talking about Juri's story starting off. It's just to give a little breakdown. We're going to be doing the usual where we talk about the story. We have some new stuff to talk about actually as well. So we're going to be talking about story, the character's goals, basically the stuff that really makes the character design. Because one of the most, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's, a lot of other concept artists' opinions, is that character design and one of the most important things in character concept art and character design is storytelling. That's what we're doing. We're telling a story. Just how illustrators tell the story of they tell a story through a beautiful picture or a beautiful composition. We tell story through character design and really making sure that it gets across in every way possible. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about Juri's story. So here it starts with saying that at the age of 15, she was the preeminent practitioner of Taekwondo, which basically means she was really good at Taekwondo, potentially one of the best around, um, and the fact that she was only 15. Um, and basically, yeah, basically she was the best. Her family got kidnapped by Shadowloo because her father was a lawyer in charge of prosecuting organized crime operations. Then he started targeting Shadowloo, and her family got kidnapped. The usual stuff that basically led to her losing. Both her parents died, and her left eye was gravely wounded, basically just gone. Um, then she went to. She basically. I don't. This part is a really gray area here. Um, I didn't find anything about like what her motives were. Um, so I have no idea why she actually undergoes an operation at the Sin Laboratory. And for those who don't know, just not to confuse people who are actually familiar with Street Fighter or who are not, Shadowloo is the main overall evil corporations, the whole thing, and SIN or Sin is a branch of it. It's the weapon branch, basically where they made all their weapons. That's kind of what Street Fighter 4 was all about. That's when Seth was introduced, and Seth was the leader of SIN, while Bison is the leader of Shadowloo overall. But anyway, so she takes this operation at the Sin Lab, and that's where she got the Feng. I don't know how to say that. The Feng Shui engine. Please correct me if I said that wrong. I think I messed it up. But we're gonna say the Feng Shui engine that got implanted into that eye. Basically, I think it's like I don't think it's in her eye. Like I literally think it's just like they took her eye out and then like gave her this thing like in her socket. And as we know, this is the mechanic in the game where she can kind of just link shit together and go batshit crazy. And then the rest of this stuff is kind of irrelevant. Um, let's see. So as time goes on, she actually goes and she kills the people that operated on her, as you can see here, the next sentence. But that was basically her like. Oh, she did that as a test. Okay, she did that as a test to test out the new eye. Pretty sure that was a. Oh yeah, that was her first mission. I don't understand how she got her first. Like, I don't understand why she was there and why she decided to actually like go with them. Maybe she passed out. I have no idea. It's a really, really gray area. Um, but she kills a good amount of people throughout missions over time. Meets a bunch of other characters like Chun Li and Cammy. Um, and yeah, it's just the whole shit show. She just basically kills a shit ton of people to finish the missions and stuff. Um, and at some point at the end of four, and her, and I think it's in Is it in her lore or is it in? Yeah, it's in her ending. She basically kills Seth, and she reveals that she was only using Sin to for her own purposes. So she basically made Bison kill Seth, and Seth knew he couldn't beat Bison anyway. So she pulled that off really nicely. And then she basically just took over from what Bison was doing. She became the new leader of SIN, um, and that's still kind of a gray area as well. But she became the leader of SIN, and then that got blown up at some point. Um, Now in Street Fighter Five, she tries to get revenge on Bison, basically for killing her family, and she fails. Obviously, she wasn't going to beat Bison, and ends up getting her Feng Shui engine ripped out in the process. So she literally lost it, and then she's like stumbled into like she pulled like a really like boring trope where she kind of stumbled into an abandoned Sin lab where she just happened to find, oh, the Feng Shui engine alpha. Like okay, like okay, I guess whatever you have to do to get the story across. Um, and then later on, she meets up with Colleen, and decides to help her take down Shadaloo with that whole organization going on with like Nash and everybody there. Um, and yeah, that's basically her story. So her story is literally just like a big revenge story, which brings us to our goals. Like, what are her goals as a character? What makes us feel like she can actually sit down and talk with you and sit down and eat a bowl of cereal or something if she wanted to. And a big part of that is really making sure that the character has goals. And as we hear after reading the story, we understand that her goal is to avenge her family by destroying Shadaloo. And that's literally what her purpose. That's what it seems like her purpose is at this moment. Because even from Street Fighter 4, she was like, okay, I'm here to basically I'm gonna pit Seth and I'm gonna basically shut down Shadaloo like little by little. And then she's actually succeeding on that way. So that's her whole story. Um, and that's basically what she's doing. So having that goal really makes us feel like she's a real person, like she's thinking, like she's not just acting to a script, she's thinking for herself. That's really important. Obviously the game here that we're describing, she's in a 2D fighter. Obviously this is a lot of the characters that I'm doing recently are from Street Fighter, so they're all going to be in that 2D fighter genre. And as for the archetypes, basically the role they play in the game, we're gonna be breaking them down into defensive, offensive, all-arounder, grappler, and like special characters. Basically, fitting they're kind of obvious for like which characters belong in which, what play styles belong in which. Defensive is like the zoners and keepaways. Offensive is like the rush down. All-arounders are the characters that can do it all. Grapplers are obviously grapplers, and special characters are ones that maybe have like puppets or something like that. Something weird that's not found in the general series. Um, so, in my opinion, I think Juri is a hyper offensive character, um, and because her kit provides so much mobility. It provides so much mobility. It's crazy. She has this like thing where like even this pose here, you can see she's in like these really dynamic pose where she's like in this triangle. Let's pick a different color. Where she's like in this triangle thing. She's literally making a triangle. So I think that's a really dynamic pose. It's really awesome. And it really helps to emphasize the fact that she's like super mobile. And her kit, she has moves where she can basically fly halfway across the screen. She can cancel it. She can go behind you. She has aerial grabs. She has like she does like cartwheels and shit. Her kit is literally like mobility central. Now where is she from? What's her location? She's definitely from like her. According to her bio, she's from South Korea. That's where she is from. I would have really liked to see a bit more like South Korean aesthetics there. Just something. Um, maybe like even asleep in something as simple as like maybe like a I don't know, maybe like what do you call it? A phone charm or something like that. I know she's not like a teenager or whatever, but something that relates her back to South Korea. Because right now you would have no idea where she's from. Even from her facial features, you wouldn't be too sure where she's from. I think Overwatch does a really good job of emphasizing the fact where every player is from. You get that Korean feel from Diva, since she's from South Korea. You get that gamer feel, that gamer vibe. It would have been really nice to see that on Juri in her new outfit. Um, yeah, because it would have made it so much easier to see that. Like I had no idea she was from South Korea, and I mean that could be a really good sign and ambiguity to where she has this kind of like we're getting into this a little bit, or next actually we can actually just go straight into it. We can talk about the trope, the occupation, and what's her class, what grounds her to something familiar, and she feels like this is what I was saying before. She feels like a special agent or like an assassin, and I think that fits really well with her revenge story and how she's kind of like, she can almost feel like that double agent, kind of like that Sea Viper feel, except she's like really, really like into it. She doesn't have any kids, as far as we're aware. She doesn't have any kids, so literally she's just all in on this like assassin slash special agent archetype or trope, and I think it's really, really great. So I think actually not having that kind of symbolism from South Korea really plays into the fact that she's like a special agent or like an assassin. That way you don't really get any information on her background. But if that was the case, then she should be wearing a mask, like to really hide. If she was really trying to hide her identity, she should have like some kind of like mask on, something like this where you literally cannot see her face, or maybe she has on, and maybe let's get a different color here. Maybe she has on like a hood of some kind. Let's see. Well, it would really mess up her hairstyle if she had on a hood. Let's see how we can draw a hood here really quickly. Horrible hood, but for the sake of sketching, let's just doodle this in. Let's make this a bit bigger. If she had some kind of hood going on here, that would be really cool to see if she was really trying to, hide her identity here. I'm sorry if this blue is like really hurting your eyes. Let's see if we can dial this back a little bit. Yeah, let's dial it back a little bit. Like if she had on some kind of hood here, that would fit really well. Maybe we could even bring it down a bit further, so we can have it like here to where it's almost covering her face. Something like that. However, hoods connect. I think they connect like there. Let's put that around her head. And then we can just fill this in really quickly. Something, and then we could have still kept her silhouette the same. We could have put something on the outsides. We could have like gave her like horns or something like that, and we could have really kept that strong silhouette. So I think this was a real heavy missed opportunity here, where if they really wanted her to be this kind of assassin, she could have had these. She could have had a hood on that really like hid her face, like something like this. Like that looks super cool to me. I don't know about you guys, but this looks pretty damn cool to me. So I would have really liked to see them play up that whole like atmosphere or whatever. Let's add some shadow. I would have really liked to see them play up this whole atmosphere if she was really trying to hide her identity from what happened and just focus on what she was doing. But that's where you start getting a bit of mixed influences, or a bit of mixed ideas. Yeah, Yeah, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the hook and spin. Man, these transitions are like super rough. I got to figure out a way to like make them a bit smoother. But that's one thing I'm trying to learn. I think these videos have actually gotten a lot better since the first one that I've done. So I think that's really like a good sign. So we're making progress. We're making progress. But yeah, let's talk about what makes her interesting and what makes her memorable. It's definitely the feng shui engine. Her eye, like the shiny eye, that's really like a core thing. It actually feels reminiscent of the whole anime like eye shine thing going on, where you have let's see if we can draw something really quickly. Where you have the whole this is still you have the shining eye thing going on where it's like, oh, okay. So I think that's really cool. That connected with a lot of people. Um, she obviously does taekwondo. If we can actually go look at a different pose that she's in, where we can see her standing here, and even in game, if you look at this one, you can literally see that she's in like a taekwondo pose, very reminiscent of reminds me of Harang from I think he's from Tekken. Yeah, Harang from Tekken. So she has that same vibe. She has these really long legs, really sleek legs, and she doesn't really. I mean, yeah, she has on like the gloves, but she rarely punches. A majority of her moves are kicks. So I think that's really awesome to have those super long legs. Um, and yeah, obviously, so she has those two things going for her. She has the Taekwondo mastery and the Feng Shui engine, and the Feng Shui engine being one of the main things that makes her memorable, and then the Taekwondo making her just adding a little bit to it. So yeah, that's really what makes her like memorable. That's why she's memorable. Basically you want to think about it in terms of if you could only define this character with like two traits, it would definitely be like from this game. If you were to make like a little sticker of her, it'd be like you have like the eye, like the mask here or whatever. You have that mask, and then you have like the pigtails over here. Like those are the things you would recognize her by. Like you wouldn't recognize her by the like you wouldn't recognize her by like the taekwondo, because everybody has taekwondo, but the eye, in addition to the taekwondo and these pigtails going out, really makes her like memorable. So yeah. Onto her alignments. What really makes her personality. What makes her nature. Um, and we talk about this every video. What's good, what's evil, what's neutral. What's lawful, chaotic. And I'm gonna say that since she obviously doesn't really care for rules, she does not care for moral rules. She's really sporadic. She doesn't really have any morals, and she literally prefers freedom. She's the embodiment of a chaotic character. Even the fact that she basically kind of betrayed her, like she was basically a spy or a double agent the whole time. Not a double agent. She was basically like a special agent the whole time. So she wasn't really like lawful. She was just pretending to be lawful. But underneath, she was really a chaotic character that's just trying to get what she wants. She just wants revenge. So I honestly think that Juri is a chaotic neutral character as opposed to a chaotic evil character. And that's simply because she enjoys causing pain and suffering with little to no reason, but she doesn't act on little to no reasoning. Maybe like a character like Bison, might like he's literally the person running like this crime organization, and he enjoys causing pain and suffering, but he's obviously not chaotic, and he obviously has a reason. But Juri here, she doesn't. Her reasoning is what causes her to like not just kill people. Like if she wanted to just kill people and she would just like walk around like just causing pain to cause pain, then she would be an evil character. But because she's literally looking for revenge for a specific person, she's not just directly trying to hurt people for no reason. So she's definitely a chaotic neutral in this case. If that got a bit confusing, I'm really sorry. I just tried to explain it a little bit, but I think I may have confused some people out there. Really apologize about that. But yes, she is a chaotic neutral character, and let's just leave it at that. Explaining alignments is really difficult after a while, because everybody has their own interpretation of what alignments are. And I've gotten my own interpretation based on a ton of research, ton of time spent on this to make sure I do understand it. It's just really hard to explain still for me. But anyway, so her design communication, does she look like she does? Does she look like she fits her story and her skill set based on a gameplay? Like if you were to see her in a game, does she look like what she's supposed to look like? Does she look like what? This this is not a good thing. Does she look like what is the character capable of? Let's put it like that. What does it look like the character is capable of? And obviously we know deep down inside that the character is fast and mobile and she has kicks. Does it look like this character at a glance? Does it look like she is capable of throwing fast kicks, being super mobile, and just being fast in general? I'm definitely gonna say yes. She looks like she looks like exactly what she does in the game. She looks like she has primarily really strong kicks. Obviously by her stance. Having her in this, let's get this different color. Having her in this Taekwondo stance, or Taekwondo-ish stance, is really, really good from a design standpoint. Because design isn't just how the character, like, what the character's wearing. It's about how they're standing and how they present themselves. So the fact that she's standing like this, like she stands like this on a regular. I think this is actually her idol pose. So that's really cool. You can really see like what she's going on because she has these really, really long legs basically. The silhouette is basically like around her legs. Like you can see like every part of her leg. It's not like blocked by like a coat or something like that. Oh, that looks kind of cool. It's not like blocked like this. Like they literally want you to see her legs to show that, okay, those are her main weapons. You got to watch out for them. So I think her wearing this kind of cat-like, this tight suit, which when I first saw it, I was like, why is she wearing like a tight suit? And then I was like, okay, maybe it does fit into the theme of, that kind of, she has that kind of cat burglar feel, that kind of assassin, special agent feel. So then I was like, okay, it kind of does fit. It kind of does fit. She looks like she would, she looks like she would be doing Catwoman type stuff, and Catwoman was super nimble. So I think, sharing that design information here is really, really a really good decision. When you normally, I think I said this in previous videos, but when you see more of a character's body, that means that character is going to be like, faster. They're going to be more nimble. It all goes back to circus tights, which is why superheroes wear tights, because they're based on like circus people. And tights allow you to basically use all of your body without any drag. So like, there's no, I mean, she does have like this piece up here, but that won't do anything. Like that won't hold her body back as if she had like a really like super big cape here that came out like this and that was behind her. Having that would really like add a ton of like wind resistance here, and that's something you don't want if you're looking to move around really fast. It looks cool, which is why a lot of higher ups like kings and queens wear like capes, because they're obviously not moving around, so it helps to show that the fact that you don't really have to move anywhere. It shows that you're very stationary. You don't have to be nimble. You don't have to be agile. Which is another reason why, a lot of character, you might not know some of you may know the character from League of Legends named Ashe, and her design is literally just horrible, for several reasons, but she has a cape. Now, I understand that she's a queen, but she's also portrayed as like a nimble archer, but she's not nimble. Like her whole design is like messed up. But regardless, the fact that she's a queen and that she has a cape, it's like okay, she has a cape. You can expect her to not be doing a lot of like the grunt work. She has minions to do all of the like grunt work and stuff. So yeah, I think this design right now is like really, really strong. It really shows us what she's capable of from a game design standpoint. Um, Although I think I would like to see like a bit more. I would really like to see a bit more influence from South Korea. Kind of like those. Like I said, like maybe some phone charms or something like that. Maybe like video game stuff. Even though it's not in her lore, but something to show that she's from South Korea, I think would be really helpful. Like even something in her fashion, maybe, just to show that that's where she grew up at. Um, and on that note, is there anything we can improve upon besides the stuff that we've already said? Um, yes, actually. Although I do think this design is solid, although her boobs are like super compressed, like they're like balloons. Like you don't draw like boobs like that. Like boobs have like they're like water balloons. Like they have these teardrop shapes. Here they're like literally just circles. Those are the that's like a Nubia mistake. They're like air balloons. It's really really bad. But anyway, um, where was I? I think it's a solid design, but I would really like to see more of that hatred for Shadowloo. Since her whole thing is about getting revenge on Shadowloo, I would really, really like to see, it would be really awesome if she could have like some kind of emblem on her, like maybe like on her leg or something, since that's like her focal point. Well, her legs are her focal point, and her face is her focal point. Oh, does she look like she can do Feng Shui Engine? Yes, obviously, because she has an eye patch, you can assume that she has something wrong with her eye. So that's really cool. But back on topic, I'd really like to see like a torn up like Shadowloo emblem or something on her. I think that would be really cool, or like maybe like crossed out or something. I think that would be really really awesome to see from a design standpoint, because that way okay, this is a person that literally despises Shadowloo. And then you start thinking, it starts telling a story. But this goes back to what I said in the beginning of the video, is storytelling. This whole thing is storytelling. From a design standpoint, if you have that kind of crossed out symbol, it's like okay, you can assume that she hates whoever symbol that is. And if you know it's Shadowloo, it's like okay, she hates Shadowloo's symbol. Okay, she's in this pose that's showing off her legs. Okay, so we're gonna expect her to use her legs quite a bit. Maybe she's like a master of her legs. Okay, cool. She's wearing this jumpsuit or the skin tight suit. It's like okay, you can expect her to be pretty fast. She's wearing like the martial art gloves. You can expect her, obviously it's okay. She's in this pose. She has the martial art gloves. You can expect her to be Taekwondo or whatever martial art uses, legs at the time, which is obviously Taekwondo. And you can see these spikes up here. You can show that she's chaotic. Triangles help to show that a character is like dynamic. So I think having triangles on here really help to show that. Although I don't know why these circles are here. I mean, they're just there. They don't do anything to the design. So I think that's not too important. But overall, I really do like Juri's design. I like the color scheme. And overall, I think she's awesome. I just wish they would have added some more Shadowloo hatred. All right, so we're gonna end off the video here. I hope that wasn't too long. I think I say that at the end of every video, but I'm gonna head out. I do have affiliates in the link below, that you might find useful or helpful. I've used them all myself. I'm not gonna promote anything that I haven't used. And if you would like to donate, $1, $3, $5, you can do so on Coffee or Ko-Fi. I'll post a link in the description below. It'll help so much. Every little bit counts. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. It's not a mandatory thing. It's just something that if you have a spare dollar or some spare change laying around that you wouldn't mind letting me that you wouldn't mind donating to me so I can like upgrade my system and pay my bills because we all have bills to pay. It would help so much. All right. So follow me on social media. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I guess I'll post my Tumblr down below, although I don't really. I just kind of post whatever on it. You can go there. My art station. All the links will be down below. Links to my website. And be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like this video if you did enjoy it. If you didn't, you can hit the thumbs down. That's okay. I won't be upset. And please comment, if you have a suggestion for upcoming characters that you would like to see from Street Fighter or any other game, any other series. It doesn't even have to be strictly fighting games, but I'm trying to keep this channel to competitive multiplayer games. So if you have any other games that you would like a character analyzed in, please let me know. And definitely hit that notification bell so you can see whenever I upload my next video, which will be out sometime next week. I don't know when yet. But yeah, I'm going to head out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and I'll catch you next time. See you.